2:30 in the morning here. Of course you ain't here, pussy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Kavzar's Settlement Showcase. For those of you who don't know that reference, just now starting the video, that was Ron White, the legendary Ron White. I got deer urine on my boots. I don't know why. Anyways, so the settlement we're going to be doing today is right behind me, but first, I want to murder a complete stranger. At this horribly defaced statue. Ooh, he had a saw blade launcher. That's a modded weapon, by the way. For those of you who don't know. But anyways, the settlement is Somerville Place, which I just affectionately named Somerville. Now, it came to my attention that I had not previously recorded this. Totally forgot about it. Arguably one of the most labor-intensive settlements that I've done. Not the most, but one of the most. And I was actually heading towards that to record that video. And I looked at Somerville and I was like, wait a minute. And then I checked my files on my computer to see if I'd recorded it. Not there. Checked my YouTube page, my channel, to see if it was there. Not there. I even checked my physical written list of settlements to record, and it wasn't even on there. So totally spaced and forgot about it. It's very lucky that it was on the way to Glowtopia from Jamaica Plains. I just recorded Jamaica Plains. So, without further ado, let's check out Somerville Place, shall we? This is actually, other than the slog, this is one of the first test cases that I had for making it kind of a small town. As you'll notice, I have a bunch of these houses here. And unlike all the other ones, I didn't put neon numbers on them. I usually do, which I might do at the end of this video. Just slap a couple neon numbers on them, you know, like street addresses, basically. And so, let's take stock of what's around Somerville Place. Right there, Vault 95, where you have to do that quest for Kate to get her off of the junk. That is completely infested by gunners, so pretty significant threat there. Scrap Palace is a huge super mutant settlement, very terrifying. Cutler Bend is full of Mirelurks, Mirelurk Kings, etc. That, I believe, is a mod. There's a mod I have called Additional Location Icons, where it, like, a bunch of unnamed locations have, like, markers now on the minimap. So, little Minutemen Outpost, if you ever want to go check it out, I highly recommend it. Because ordinarily I don't think that icon's there, but there is actually a little Minuteman Outpost, so it's kind of cool. There's another one, I think that one is also part of that mod. But anyways, so yeah. And of course, to the direct southwest, you have the Glowing Sea. So, immensely dangerous area. You know, death claws and rad scorpions and all kinds of scary crap comes out of there. So, of course, I had to do something in the defensive department. So, the main entrance here, you'll notice, is wide open. You got that road that leads north. And that's for trade caravans and stuff. I figure if anything's going to be able to conquer this place, it doesn't really matter whether or not there's a vault door. The other reason why I didn't build a vault door like I typically do for all of my heavily armored settlements is because the terrain around here is horribly uneven, and I didn't want to have to deal with that headache. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'll just leave it open. Nothing's going to be able to get through the defenses here anyways. So, as you'll notice, a bunch of little houses, and of course, as usual, tons of beds in them, you know, for small families. There you go. Same layout as all of them. And I think that's why I didn't record this video, was the fact that it might be unfinished. That would explain the power things connecting each of the houses, but no neon numbers to indicate what houses are which. So, again, I'll do that at the end of the video, get numbers slapped on all of them. And it is just now really early in the morning. What time? 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun is just coming up over the horizon. And you can barely see it because it's horribly rainy down here. It's always raining in Somerville. And I'm fairly certain that was a reference to that one city that was in Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. That was in the south where it always rained. It's very much similar in this settlement's case as well, which I very much appreciated because I very thoroughly enjoyed Oblivion. But anyways, yep, so this is the southeastern corner. Just in case any Mirelurk Queen decides to get too courageous, there's a laser scanner and a couple of minigun turrets just to kind of spray things off. It's not really meant to fully hold the line against a huge invasion of whatever, but it is indeed a detriment to anything that wants to come in here. So, kind of an observation, little defensive area. And again, you'll notice very uneven terrain. I got some support stuff here for the concrete blocks that form the foundation of these houses. I had the option to delete this magnificent, huge tree, because again, I have several mods active in, when I build my settlements, where I can delete everything that I want. And I left this tree alone because I like the little swing on it. So I figured the guy that lives here with his kids, they could use a little bit of entertainment, so I left the swing tree alone. And here we have some more houses. Yep, another nice little house with a nice little staircase. And there we go. And they should all have power attachments, yep. So they're good to go in that regard. Another little house. Inaccessible. Ooh, I must have locked that. It's kind of dangerous to use that door locking mod. If you use it too much in a given settlement, it might permanently lock the doors. Just a heads up about that. That is a glitch that I've heard about and encountered personally. So be sure to back up your game saves whenever you're using mods. I have to do that disclaimer because, especially if you're on the consoles like me, it is prone to horrible glitchiness. So, next couple of buildings. You have the main house, kind of a dilapidated house. This is where the first guy and his children live in. And I pretty much left it alone. I deleted a lot of the clutter, a lot of the debris and stuff, so it's a lot cleaner. You have a little bit of a farm going on with the mute fruits. He had corn and all kinds of other stuff planted. I said, no, get rid of that. Plant mute fruits and a bunch of water, so it's a very thriving settlement with regards to food and water. And up here, I'm not sure what I was doing up here. I kind of wanted to have like an attic, I guess, but decided against it. So this is where I put the recruitment beacon, which is active. That'll explain all of these settlers that were here now that weren't here last time. And here we have the power room. And given the fact that it rains almost constantly down here, I decided to build the power room with a roof, which I kind of experimented with, and that's okay, because I'm not really that good at building with concrete just yet. But a little bit of a roof. You got that hole to kind of get the power out of here. And here you have the one fusion generator of the settlement, which is all you really need. And it's fairly well protected from both the elements and anything that wants to invade the settlement. You can't really, unless you have a really lucky throwing arm, you can probably lob a grenade in through here from outside of the settlement, but that's one hell of a throw. Anyways, shutting the door. The main points of defense, and again, I have more houses here on the north side. There's that house, there's that one. These are kind of the rich folk houses on the hill, but that comes with a price. You see, the western defense is the single most important one because that's where all the threats are going to be coming from. Northwest, Scrap Palace, directly west, the Vault 98, or excuse me, 95. How do I read goodly? Anyways, Scrap Palace, Vault 95, and then anything coming out of the glowing sea. So everything that is horrifying will come from the west. And actually, when I was first working on this settlement, there was actually a death claw in a ravine somewhere. Hang on. There was a death claw in a ravine somewhere where those are pointing to the southwest when I was building this wall. And so, yeah, somewhere in that direction. And he was an albino death claw. He was a big boy, so took a bit of bullets to bring him down. And so yeah, again, very dangerous to the western direction. So that's why I built these watchtowers. The keep. So, that's interesting. It doesn't have a door attached. That's bizarre. No idea why that's the case. Huh. Interesting. No idea why there wasn't a door. Anyways, so quite a big tower. It's actually, I think, one of the tallest ones that I've built, if not the tallest tower I've built outside of Murkwater. And, oh, trust me, we'll get to Murkwater soon enough. But, yeah, it's not meant to be lived in. As you'll notice, there's no beds, there's no amenities, there's no desks, no lights, no nothing. There are these little alcoves, which I think I did build for that eventual purpose, but again, there's no military presence, there's no Minutemen or Brotherhood of Steel in this region. It's fairly isolated in the southern part of the Commonwealth. If the Minutemen ever do decide to expand in this general direction, they have plenty of room to get some beds and lockers for, munitions and so forth to put in here. And they can easily be the defenders of this settlement. But for now, the automated defense system in the form of turrets is perfectly capable of defending this settlement. And I say that with these particular defenses. Now, they may look lightly defended, but again, these coupled with the defenses on the corners of the settlement, which I believe this is... Ooh, what do we have here? Yeah, there's a mongrel dog. Looks like I'm going to have to build some defenses there, too. So I guess this settlement was still incomplete. That's why I totally forgot about it, I guess. But for the most part, it's finished. It's got all the houses you need for your little settlers, and it's got a decent amount of defenses. I believe these are all mod turrets, yeah, because they don't require power sources. You have a Fat Man turret, which defends from the northern approach, which, to be honest, is only defending against the super mutants that might come up the road. And the rest of these are advanced plasma turrets, so high rate of fire plasma rounds. It can basically take out anything medium, short, and even, if you're lucky, at long range. Fairly good defensive system. And you'll notice the same on the other tower as well, with more Fat Man turrets than anything. And so this is kind of just to spray off anything that might come from Vault 95, which is right over there. You can see it right through the trees. So the gunners, if the gunners decided to come tearing through here down this ravine, they're going to be met with very stiff resistance in the form of automated plasma turrets. And that's pretty much the keep in a nutshell. It's got a lot of murder holes in case there are ever Minutemen up here. They can easily garrison the tower and shoot back through the murder holes. There you go. I think another reason why I didn't build defenses on this particular corner, there's not a whole hell of a lot of room back here. That's why. Although I probably should, especially given how that fence is really, really low. But I'll do that later. So, for now, we'll go check out these. So the other one was the keep. This one is the bastion. The other one had a biohazard sign. This one has a radiation sign on it.
It's stuck.
There we go. So there's kind of a bit of a junk pile there that I can't delete. Again, it's very uneven terrain, so that kind of screwed with the foundation of the building. Had to hide it behind that wall. And trying to go up the stairs. Going up the sideways stairs. This frickin' building was built by MC Escher. But, yep. So here is the primary defense tower of the settlement. And again, I've got those covering the doorway, that's covering that corner, and Vault 95, and there's also that little bunker that has a very angry sentry robot that lives there. So if he ever decides to try and attack us, he's just going to get a face full of plasma. But this is the main defensive emplacement because every single one of these turrets is a Fat Man launcher. And that's mainly to guard against threats coming out of the glowing sea through that ravine and through that kind of pathway that goes that way that turns into a ravine down there. Which again, in this general area is where that Deathclaw was. And there's a lot of very nasty critters right beyond that hill, right over there. I should know, because I was heading that way before I made this video. So, anyways, the main defensive emplacement, and nothing's going to get in through this direction, especially. You got that close quarters. Anything that tries to get remotely close to these settlements' walls will get filled full of lead from those minigun turrets. Long range, I've got these Fat Mans that'll atomize anything that even remotely attempts to get close. So, and there's the marshes. Nothing really out there except your occasional Mirelurk and maybe a queen walking around every now and then. Nothing a few minigun turrets can't handle. And pretty well defended. Again, you've got these murder holes. You can garrison Minutemen in this tower as well and shoot back and help out with the defense of these settlements. Help out the Fat Man turrets. And it is still raining. So, that is not what I wanted. That is what I wanted. neon. There we go. Let's do red here, shall we? And just gonna get these numbered really quick. I think that might be why I didn't bother to number them. Yep, that is problematic. So that's 0. Actually, I usually do the primary part of the settlement to 0, which would be that main house, but you know what? I'm going to forego that this time and just leave that there because I don't want to delete these. So, I'm trying to keep the video fairly short. But, again, thank you for watching my little walkthrough of my Somerville build. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hope you got some ideas for your settlement as well, to see if you can make any improvements to your settlements, if I gave you any good ideas. And be sure to share any ideas you have in the comments section. We can get some good discussions going with you and anybody else who watches the video. And just let me get the rest of these numbers in place. And as for that northwestern corner, I'm not exactly sure what I want to put there for defenses. Since it's fairly uphill and rugged and stuff, I might just load it up with more automatic plasma turrets. You know, just fill the air with plasma if anybody ever tries to come that way. There's the psychological factor that you want to take into account in addition to the pragmatic defensive approach, you know. The overwhelming force of those fat mans, of course, you know, is perfect defense for guarding against the glowing sea. But the Vault 95 direction, you know, you don't necessarily need that much overwhelming force for, you know, gunners. I mean, they're scary, but they're not that scary compared to Death Claws and all the nightmarish horrors that live in the glowing sea. I think this is the first time I've ever had this many houses where it warranted double digits. Yep. So, pretty interesting stuff. Although I could be wrong, because I'm fairly certain that Spectacle Island has more houses. And so, looks like that's it. Alright. So that's it for the neon lights, and of course it would be 13 houses. Which, stay tuned for the Murkwater video, for which I have long alluded to as being related to Warhammer. For those of you who know what Warhammer is, the tabletop strategy game, Warhammer Fantasy Battles. It is in homage, Murkwater construction site. That settlement is going to be a homage to my first army, which is the Skaven that I play in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, so stay tuned for that one. I'm going to finish up here with this little defensive emplacement, which I will not even be able to fit into that corner. Goody. So what I'm going to do is just kind of do this instead. Come on. And there's the Place Anywhere mod, hard at work. And then what I do is, come on, there you go. And so what I do is get it right about there. Destroy that. And you'll notice it vibrates when you use the Place Anywhere mod, and a way to do that to get it to stop is just select it and deselect it again, and it'll stop vibrating. Little tips and tricks for your settlement constructing pleasure. And let me see, I'm gonna put probably one more. I can squeeze it in there. Yeah, come on. That might work. Alright, well, no matter. And then let's see, turrets. This would be kind of a good way to showcase the turrets for you. Boop, boop, boop. A lot of modded turrets. And what I'm going to do is advanced gamma turrets. No, that's not it. Where's it? Plasma. should be the plasma turrets. There it is. Plasma pulse turret. Plasma turret. So that's like a sniper plasma thrower, railway turret. No. Which they kind of ruin the railway gun in this game, but whatever. And there you go. So, I'm trying to stay on the wall here, keep myself from falling off. So again, this is just for keeping the wild mongrel dogs at bay. There we go. And perfecto. And that's how you do it. Pretty simple. And probably the most vulnerable part of the settlement, other than the gaping front door, is that section right there of wall, which I'm not going to build any defenses there, because again, I have the towers for line of sight. Should be fairly good to go. I just wanted to build these turrets here because it is fairly low. The fence is fairly low. Whoops. And there you go. All set. Thank you again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and the many more to come. This has been Somerville Place. And let me see if I can get rid of that vine. Come on. The delete everything option is not working. I guess I can't delete it. Alright. It's hard-coded. Run! Run! And I will just give you a nice little view of the raining swamp.